Good afternoon, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. Good afternoon, Brandy, and everyone who's joining me today. So I want to talk about some significant changes in taxes for 2021. Well, we know that coronavirus, COVID-19, aka SARS-CoV-2, has done a doozy on our finances. Whether you lost your job, you were furloughed, you were laid off, or you were simply cut hours short for your particular job. But we have to understand that this is going to play a significant role in taxes, some for the better and also some for the worse. So let me get my notes here. Let's go over this. So some of the key takeaways is that out of all of the 52? Out of all the states, there's only one state that has increased their general income tax rates. One state. Only one state has publicly put out that they will increase their general income tax rates, and that's Arizona, okay? But there's several jurisdictions raised or amended their property taxes. But now for California, voters refuse to an increase of commercial property taxes and left Proposition 13 unchanged, and we'll get into that. Ladies and gentlemen, we understand that California is one of the most expensive states to live in. Totally, one of the most expensive states. I mean, whether it be San Fran or be San Diego, you'll be probably living on the sand of one of those beaches if you don't pay your bills, because their rent, mortgage, everything is super expensive. That's why there's a lot of Californians moving up to Washington, Oregon, Arizona. They're skipping Louisiana, and they're coming to Texas, okay? Now, Arkansas made its sales tax permanent, okay? Arkansas made its sales tax permanent. Colorado and Oregon increased taxes on cigarettes and related products. Now, when I think about Colorado and Oregon, when they say increased taxes on cigarettes and other related products, that has me to go into they are legalized. They have legalized weed, marijuana. So they probably raised the taxes on marijuana as well. Let's see. Nebraska imposed a 20% tax on racetrack gambling and gambling revenue. Also, last but not least, Arizona, Montana, New Jersey, and South Dakota legalized recreational marijuana and imposed taxes on its sales. So when we're talking about income tax, we're talking about the height and rate and the increase that Arizona with their Proposition 208, which adds a 3.5 tax surcharge to the present levy or taxable incomes over $250,000 for single filers and over $500,000 for married filers. Now, I know there's not a lot of people in that tax bracket, but it's significant to note if you are or know somebody that is, that their taxes will be raising 3.5%. Okay. Now, the new tax added to the current top rate of 4.5%, making the top rate on incomes above the specified income levels of 8%. Okay. So that's very pertinent for people who live in Arizona. Your taxes are going up if you're making that money. Like, I make six figures. Yeah, you're about to make almost double digits in taxes too. So with come great money, come great responsibility too. In this case, great taxes. Colorado's, or as people call them, Coloradoans, okay, on the other hand, passed a reduction in income tax rate. This is cool because their income tax was at 4.63%. They reduced their income tax down to 4.55%. This is awesome. Okay, again, this is for Colorado. Their income tax rate is being decreased from 4.63% to 4.55%. Okay. Now, the great thing about this as well is that this reduction will be applied retroactively from January 1st, 2020. Now, I don't know what they're going to do about this, because anytime you retroactively backdate something, that means that some money need to be owed to the people. That means if you're going to reduce the taxes by 0.8%, they're reducing the taxes by 0.8%. Now, of course, that depends on how much you made for that year for your state taxes. You should be getting a refund check. But what I think they will do, this is my opinion, I haven't read nothing about it yet, because I'm simply talking about taxes. that they're going to take that 0.8% that you paid over in 2020 and hold on to it as a credit to apply it to your 2021 taxes. That is what I believe when it comes to them. Now, Illinois, okay, voters have defeated a proposed constitutional amendment that will have allowed a graduating income tax rate to be enacted for individuals and corporations and ended the constitutional mandate for a flat rate income tax. So that was defeated. So they're essentially putting a cap on income tax, just kind of being a variable rate. They're like, hey, we want a flat income tax rate, okay? That is what the people are asking for, and that's what it seems though is going to happen. Now, when it comes to property tax, Colorado again, we're talking about Amendment B repeals. This is a provision for state constitution. They call it the Gallagher Amendment that set a ratio of 45% to 55% for residential and non-residential property taxes shares of the property tax base. It allows property tax rates to be set by the legislator and continues the requirement of voter approval and rate increases. Now, again, on California. Now we're going to get to Louisiana. We're going to get into Missouri. So don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, your state is coming. Now, all 50 states are not entailed in this. So hopefully your state is in this so you can get some good tax information. Okay, back to Californians, okay, or Californians or Californians or whatever the people call themselves. I don't know. San Francisco adopted an increase in the real estate transfer tax to 5.5%. They increased it, okay, in the real estate transfer tax of 5.5% on transactions between 10 million and 25 million, and to 6% on transactions over 25 million. Now, granted, most of us, yeah, we're not worried about that one. Louisiana amendment 6% increase the income threshold for eligibility for the homestead exemption, special assessment for seniors, certain military and disabled persons provided under the state constitution from $50,000 to $100,000 beginning in 2026. So we're talking about 5 to 6 years out. With future adjustments for inflation, the exemption freezes the assessed value of a residential property and therefore also freezes the amount of property tax owed unless the local tax rate is increased. So this is a good thing, okay? We're talking about homestead exemption for those people who live in Louisiana, and this is mostly for your seniors and certain military and disabled persons. So again, this could be your mom, your dad, your grandfather, your grandmother, or maybe even yourself if you know prior military or military. It just depends. Now, Missouri, St. Louis voters approved Proposition R, which is Romeo, which will increase the property tax. Listen to this. Missouri, your property taxes get increased by $60 per $100,000. So again, if your house is $100,000, that's an extra $60,000. That's an extra $60. If your house is $200,000, that's an extra $120, okay, per property tax. They're increasing their property tax of assessed value to fund early childhood education. Voters in Portland, Oregon, passed Measure 26-213, imposing a property tax of $80 per $100,000 for 5 years starting in 2021 to provide funding for parks and recreation. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't agree with this because, quite frankly, I've been to Oregon. When I lived in Washington, Oregon is only 2.5 hours away. And Oregon is a big park. So what the hell are they talking about? They're increasing $80. Now, Missouri, I applaud Missouri on this. Not on the essential increase of property tax, but they are investing in their school system because we understand that some states like Missouri, Alabama, West Virginia, they don't have the best, schooling system. I'll just say that, okay? We understand that some states like Washington have great public schools, okay? We're talking about the totality, not individual school districts and counties. We understand that varies, but when you do a cumulative, states like Washington and California in some regards have a better school system depending on the amount of people, the amount of counties and districts. I digress. Now, One notable tax defeat, the highest profile ballot initiative, California's Proposition 15, which have increased property tax on commercial real estate, failed. Okay, which have failed because they're like, no, you're not raising our taxes. We the people voted this down. This ballot initiative would have excluded most commercial real property from protection of Proposition 13, a state constitutional amendment enacted in 1978 that was upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court in 1992. Now, when we talk about sales and excess tax, Arkansas and San Francisco, Arkansas voters approved Issue 1, a proposal to make permanent a 0.5% tax provided in State Constitutional Amendment 91, which was scheduled to expire in 2023. Revenue from the sales tax is designated for state and local public transportation. San Francisco adopted Proposition Romeo to increase the sales tax by 0.125, making it 8.625% for 30 years to fund the Caltrain rail service. Now, Colorado and Oregon, taxes approved in both Colorado and Oregon would increase the cost of tobacco, cigarettes, nicotine products. Colorado's Proposition Echo will increase the tax on cigarettes to $1.94 per pack in 2021, with subsequent increases to $2.64 per pack in 2027. Listen, taxes don't play no games with nobody. If you are a cigarette smoker, I assure you, I promise you that it's cheaper to stop smoking cigarettes. Colorado is increasing literally $2 per pack of cigarettes. So if your pack of cigarettes is $4 to $5, it's $2 of taxes on that. And by the year 2027, it's $2.64. That is ridiculous. Okay. Now, I'm neutral about if you smoke cigarettes. I don't. I think it's harmful for you. But again, taxes are going up. They're kind of using taxes as a deterrent for people to stop smoking. I got it. Now, the rate of taxes on other products will rise from a current 40% of manufacturer list price to 62% by 2027. So tobacco-related products that are currently at 40% will be raised to 62% from 2021 to 2027. This tax will be extended to e-cigarettes starting at 31% in 2021 and 62% in 2027. Now, Oregon measured 108 wheel tax vapor and nicotine products at 65% of wholesale price and increased the cigarette tax from $1.33 to $3.33 per 20 cigarette pack. Nebraska. At the same time, Nebraska approved Initiative 430, which authorizes gambling at licensed racetracks. It also approves Initiative 4031. So Initiative 430, you guys can go ahead and gamble at the racetracks. Initiative 431, which will impose a 20% tax on gross annual gambling revenue from licensed racetracks. So for these racetracks and maybe also the individual patrons who are gambling, Nebraska going to charge you 20% of your revenue. So it's taking 20% off the top. That's steep. That is really steep in my opinion. Now we also have some business taxes, but I'm not going to get on San Francisco too much. I'll go right to Georgia and Louisiana. Georgia and Louisiana voters in these two states passed measures granting their legislators authority to designate the use of government revenues. Shouldn't have did that. I don't agree. Georgia and Louisiana, this is what they did. Voters in these two states passed measures granting their legislators, their politicians, authority to designate the use of government revenues. Georgia Amendment 1 authorized the General Assembly to require that revenues collected for a specified purpose be used for that purpose. Okay. Louisiana Amendment 3 permits the legislators to allocate up to 1/3 of the state's budget stabilization fund to cover the cost of a federally declared disaster. Now, last but not least, recreational marijuana. I get ha, ha, ha every day. No, my bad. I was thinking about DC and don't worry about it. Arizona, Montana, New Jersey, and South Dakota. Voters in these states legalize recreational marijuana. Baby, we getting hot. I'm in Texas. Never mind. I just thinking about people in New Jersey. So you know what New Yorkers going to do? They just going over to Jersey and yeah. People in South Dakota, they're going to just grow their own weed. People in Montana, they're just going to change different types of weed with South Dakota. And then people in Arizona, that means people in Louisiana are going to go to Arizona. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not near none of them. I'm just saying. But they legalize recreational marijuana. So Arizona, Montana, and South Dakota will tax. Listen to this. Listen to this if you live in these states, because they're going to tax it, or you're going to those states to buy your marijuana, know how much you need. Because in Washington, you have to use cash. A lot of these places don't take card. I don't know why. It's part of the state law. But let me tell you something about Washington school system. Washington school system is doing phenomenal because the taxes that the marijuana or the dispensaries actually pay, that goes right back into the school system. So some of these students are actually funding their own schooling. I mean, some of these students are benefiting from the taxes. So anyway, Arizona, Montana, and South Dakota will tax marijuana sales at 15, 16, and 20% respectively. 16, 20, and 15% respectively for those states. Arizona, Montana, New Jersey, and South Dakota. So in New Jersey, the state sales tax of 6.625% will apply, in local governments are authorized to impose additional sales tax of 2%. Listen to that. The local governments are authorized to impose an additional sales tax of 2%. So what does that mean? That means that let's just take 15%. So let's say, for instance, New Jersey say, okay, we're going to tax marijuana at 15%. So when you know how you live in your state, but you live in different counties, okay? So it doesn't matter what state you live in. If you're in Washington, King County, or, it doesn't matter what county you live in. You're already going to endure a 15% tax for the state. Then the local governments, your county governments, can impose an additional 2%. So everybody is eating off of your weed smoking. That's all what it is, okay? Everybody's going to be taxed. You can get high legally, which some of you I know want to do. You just want to go in your room. You want to get away from everybody. You want to get away from your husband and your kids. You're like, hey, I'm chilling out. I'm on the back porch. I'm going to smoke me a blunt. I'm going to eat me a gummy, and I'm going to have me a drink, and I'm going to just chill out. You got them tonight. You got the kids tonight, okay? You doing everything tonight. I need my day, okay? That's how it is. I get it. I'm not against it. Maybe you got inflammation in your bones. You need that THC for your pain relief. I get it. I'm just saying, I'm going to give you some good excuses and reasons, okay? The medicinal uses of marijuana, whether it's CBD or it contains THC. I'm going to help you out, sisters, and I'm going to help you out, brothers. I mean, sometimes you got bad knees like me from football. Sometimes you need that extra THC. You ain't trying to get high. It's part of the process, but you're not trying to get high. You're trying to reduce some of your pain. Let your old lady know that. Hey, my knee's acting up today. It's raining. It's going to rain. I'm telling you. That's what grandma said. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, that's my information for today. I'm gonna read some of your notes here. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. We got I already said hi to Brandy. We got Legs in the room. He says, good morning from Snowy, Alaska. Great and needed tax information. Great job as always, brother. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We got Soto. He said, cheaper to vape, amigo. But let me tell you about vaping, amigo. Is that vaping will absolutely cause cancer and destroy your lungs. Do the research. I told you I'm a chemical guy. I'm telling you, vaping will kill your lungs. Smoking, period. That's why I say if you're going to ingest some of these edibles, well, if you're going to ingest some of these edibles, that's a lot better than putting smoke in your lungs. Our bodies wasn't essentially equipped or made or created to induce smoke. This picture, you in a fire. Why you think smoke is always caught? Yeah, you don't supposed to be smoking. Now, granted, I digress. I won't contradict myself. I know I smoke a cigar, but I've never choked off a cigar because cigar smoke doesn't go in your lungs. It goes about right here and you blow it back out. But mostly cigar smoke stays in your mouth. I'm not defending cigar smoke. It's still bad, but it's not even half as bad as vaping. Vaping is the worst out of all of them. Vaping versus cigarettes versus, it's all bad. But vaping is the number one killer. He says always cheaper to do so. I need to get more Planet 13. Indeed. Mike says Florida legalized medical marijuana. Yeah, I can move to Florida now. I got a few problems. Soto said they don't take cards because the banks are federally regulated and it's still considered drug money in the eyes of, that explains it. Thanks for that, Soto. That makes so much sense. Thank you. In Texas, they can't add a tax to hemp products. I knew that, but again, you're only doing CBD. They don't have THC in their products here. Nolan Baptiste, thank you, good sir, for moderating. And don't forget, Nolan, if you schedule a one-on-one consultation with me for however long, I told you your services are free, good sir. Thank you for all your hard work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for today. Hopefully I gave you guys some good information. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you know people who live in these states, please share this video for them so they can get this information, because some people taxes are going up, some people taxes are going down, some people taxes are staying the same, and Arizona, Montana, New Jersey, and South Dakota, I envy you guys because you guys have recreational marijuana. And from Alaska, I know marijuana is there legal too. But anyway, I'm jealous. All right, guys. I'm not jealous. Yes, I am. You guys have a great and wonderful day. Learn money and be inspired. I'm out.